All I ever wanted in this world is carnage.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Fortune Theory for another main episode Friday edition. Today we're going to be talking about Venom, Let There Be Carnage. We've both just seen it. It was amazing. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be from the trailer. It felt like a much more easy to follow
every
story.
single time I go to stand up, he's like, credits.
Hey?
Every single time we're at a Marvel film, which has been the last two, because that's the last time I can remember, is you just going, as soon as I go to stand up, I look at you like, you ready? Like, post credits.
It was kind of worth it this time, but we'll get to that in a bit. Get to that in a minute. So this one pretty much picks up from Sony. Doesn't seem to like the idea of doing the overarching trilogy with the idea of like setting up something at the end of the first story and then building it up. Sorry, Thanos. To like the third.
Sorry, Thanos.
To the third story in the trilogy. So they jumped the gun, kicked the bucket, and just brought Woody Harrelson back for Venom 2 to be Carnage, because they pretty much set it up at the end of they pretty much set it up at the end of the first one, and they decided that he wasn't going to have a Madagascar-free afro and be Pennywise. He was going to actually have flat hair that just resembled the color. So yeah, the prison sanctum was like, oh, what the fuck is it gonna call? What the fuck is it called?
Sorry, I could just picture fucking Melman with a fucking feet fucking. No.
No other zoo can afford my medical care. I'm not going back.
It's meant to be a Venom review.
I'm not going back to HMO. Whatever the fuck it was called. I think it was HMO. I'm probably completely wrong. I need to get that.
It was the New York Zoo. Wait, what do you mean HMO? Hold on.
I don't know.
This is meant to be a Venom review, and we've automatically just become Madagascan and Madagascan. We just got Madagascar on this. But to get back on topic while he looks that up, Venom was really good. So other than that, it's just been amazing. But your separate audio, don't worry. But yeah, it has been really good. There's been in my opinion, the end is slightly weaker. I mean, Ollie will probably know what you think. I mean, I really love the first 50 minutes.
I do think it wrapped up too. I think I know what you mean. It did wrap up a bit too quickly.
Well, I felt
but they explained everything.
Andy Serkis already said it was going to be. It's a shorter film than normal. They're normally 2 hours at least, and this was just barely an hour 40. But I felt although the end wrapped it kind of went from normally the middle of Act 2, which was around the 50-minute mark, but then we came into Act 3. It felt really quickly. Within 5 minutes, I felt like we were already in from beginning to middle of Act 3, and then obviously the end of Act 3 being as he goes off to.
It kind of felt like a TV episode kind of story
in a way. Yeah.
It could have worked as an episode from a show.
Well, what really confused me is
overall. I knew it was going to be simplistic, because I knew the whole idea was literally just Cletus Kasady getting revenge and him becoming Carnage, and just a simple story of him breaking out of prison, and then Eddie Brock and Venom just sort of
everything
fighting him and defeating him, and that would have literally just been the story, because that's what everyone wants to see. As easier said than done, because that was basically the first Venom movie, without all the intricacies of the base and Carlton Drake.
The setup for me all the way until there was two bits. Everything up until he breaks out as Carnage, I really liked all the interrogation, the two.
I didn't like the fact that Carnage actually said the line, because it felt like they'd come up with a title for the film, then were like, you know what, let's have the title actually said in the film.
Yeah.
Then they put the line in, Let there be carnage. I love that line so much. I walked out one of the cinemas. I walked out the cinema screen. No one was there at that point. It was like the alleyway in screen, like, you know, in my cinema you got screen 10, you've got the alleyway that you walk out of. I walked out of it going, "Let there be carnage," and it just echoed out the room. I love the line. I hate the no. I love that. I love that line, but I hated its use because I felt like that was just Sony's way of, let's put the title in the movie.
Oh, pretty much. And it felt like a trailer line as well, which wasn't actually used.
Well, the way he said carnage didn't, but the line, like, you know, they could have, like,
they could have.
The let there be could have been in it, but, you know.
Yeah, I liked.
What if let there be Venom? Carnage, let there be Venom.
What
Carnage, let there be Venom.
But that'll be an interesting way.
Just to quickly bring that up, they did just release a new Hawkeye trailer like yesterday. That says that they're going to be releasing the first 2 episodes of that series on the 24th of November. So let us know in the comments if you want us to review those as one video, or you want us to break down the 2 episodes individually. So yeah, let us know. Thank you. And
we'll be recording it about the same time, so it's just whether you want 2 individual videos or not, basically, which might help you.
Do you want part 1, part 2, 2 separate reviews, or do you want it as one big bulk?
Yeah,
up to you. Not as in the whole series, just those first 2, because they came out the same day. The reason they're doing that is I found out because the Star Wars spin-off, the Mandalorian spin-off, Boba Fett, has its first episode that debuts on the 29th of December, which is why they're doing that. Also, and this is kind of what I feel like is the main real reason besides that, because Marvel wouldn't care, I don't think, because they know they do well anyway. It's just the fact that if they were to do the 1-week release schedule, it doesn't clash with Christmas anymore, and the whole show is set around Christmas, because it means the last episode would come out not only in the day that Boba Fett comes out, but also a week after Christmas, almost. So it's kind of like, it's a bit redundant now, isn't it? So
how many episodes are we getting for Hawkeye? Because that's leading up
6.
to Christmas, isn't it? Yeah,
6.
Yeah.
So we get the first 2 on the 24th of November, and then one weekly.
Yeah.
So the last one we'll get is the 22nd, which is all right, because that's like, 3 days before. So that's not too bad. But yeah, and then that'll be that for everything MCU for 2021. And obviously during that we get Spider-Man No Way Home, and that's relevant for what we're about to discuss, and going a bit further, because yes, spoilers going on from this point, but you may have already worked it out, because when they had their original premiere, they said that there would be an end credit scene, so we all anticipated it. And so Venom's with Eddie Brock has the symbiote back, because he loses the Venom symbiote during the film. It goes off with other people, gets drunk, and basically kills them off as like alcoholic poison, because he gets them. Yeah, because they just get wasted, and as they have a falling out, and then the shopkeeper keeps him alive. And there's a weird scene about pretending to consider him horny, about when he falls rage.
It's a really weird thing. Is like
Can I say something a second?
Yeah,
you cut it.
Yeah,
can I say something a second? You cut it.
More, I got to cut out.
Great.
But yeah, for me it was really funny. That reaction I had when she goes like, "Venom, it's you," and she's like, I find that really, that's cool. All the action, and we're obviously trying to tease.
Trying
Venom.
to just bring him out.
Well, you like it, do you? Yeah. Did you get him?
What did you sound like, Penny?
I don't know.
Oh, you like it? Oh, you like it, do you? Now it's just Scooby-Doo. That's just Scooby-Doo now.
I'm born in the darkness. You like it, do you? I was born in the darkness. But not going into the Dark Knight Rises, it was really good.
Friday's
some
good.
funny moments. Sorry,
give me that. Sorry, but
We're getting off.
to get to the So yeah, Venom's obviously defeated like Carnage. He eats his own symbiote after like almost kind of like, so when Cletus first gets the Carnage symbiote, he attacks. Venom kind of brings Cletus over to him when he's in his like cell. It kind of attacks him. Cletus bites Eddie, gets a bit of the symbiote blood, ingests it. It stops him from receiving the lethal injection and saves his life. Carnage helps Cletus Kasady escape, basically using him as his host. That's what confuses me. Are they separate characters or are they the same character? This is what really confuses me.
Who are we on about, Cletus and Carnage?
So symbiotes and hosts, because this is one thing that's bugging me.
That's what Eddie brought up, is the fact that like they said they're not connecting, are they? I don't know the technical
in
word for it.
Spider-Man, like they made it so it was like the symbiote jumps between people, obviously, but he's not like a character.
We see Venom jumping between all these random.
He's a sentient entity.
He has to form with the
It's Eddie that's the character, not Venom. Venom's like almost a superpower. That's a non-character.
Well, as Venom says,
that's the way they did it in. That's how they did it in Spider-Man 3. But then no one really cares about that. I do because I like it, but you know, people would wonder why. But
like, because Cletus and
that's
Carnage
also available on Netflix now, by the way.
Cletus and Carnage don't technically bond because you can like see for various moments that like
Carnage is like, oh, you know, stop it hurts him, but then don't kill her because I love her. That's what Cletus is like, and then Carnage is just like, I don't care, shut her up or I'll kill her. You know, sort of thing. I'll take over your body post and kill her. So I guess like in a way Cletus is like a secondary villain and Carnage is like the main villain, but they're kind of like the same character because, you know, Cletus is the human alter ego. Carnage is like the superpower.
Yeah,
it's complicated. It's like, I don't know if I consider Eddie and Venom like two separate characters or the same character or not. I'd assume that there's two separate characters.
It's two characters when they are physically disconnected, but also it's not at the same time, because when he comes out of Eddie, he is then just symbiotic.
Because,
like he has to become part of Eddie in order to be Venom. Yeah, so
it's so weird. It's not. I like it for the fact it's unusual, but it makes it harder to label.
I think it is one villain, or sorry, one like Venom has to be part of someone to be Venom.
So it's just the symbiote.
Yeah,
like
the symbiote,
you know,
doesn't. The symbiote isn't anything without a being, without a human.
I know there was a universe where two of the symbiotes came together and they used each other as like hosts and then formed like just this one big symbiote, and that being the Carnage and Venom symbiotes. And they created either Venage or Carnum, I think they called themselves. And Venage. I like when I'm working on like my own.
It's got a really dark thought as a meme. I'm gonna cut this out in 14 minutes. Anyway, I just
include that.
That's why I had to remember it's 14 minutes. But like post credits, because it's been 14 minutes.
So yeah, post credit scene to get to the point. So yeah, Eddie and Venom have won. Like, you know, they bite Carnage. They eat Carnage. The symbiote live, so it's dead, disattached from Cletus's body, and then they eat Cletus, and you know, so he's dead. His girlfriend gets killed by the bell. Either a symbiote or a piece of the symbiote or part of Shriek's powers get transferred to Patrick. Not you, Patrick. The police cop, Patrick Mulligan, I think his last name is.
We get a little close up of him and his eyes going.
His eyes change color, and then he says something about aliens or symbiote, you know, something like that, having knowledge of it, and his eyes are like sort of Shriek's color. So the rumor is that in the comics he becomes Toxin, who's the offspring of Carnage, because that's how it works, and then that's what they'll continue with. But I feel like they're going to go a different route now, because I don't think they're going to want to just keep spawning the children, because there's so many things you can do with the symbiotes. You don't necessarily have to like just keep like, you know, because they are asexual. They produce their own spawn. Like they don't need like partners or anything like that. They produce their own spawn through pieces of their body and soul and blood. So they don't need sex or anything. But yeah.
It's just the way you describe. They don't need sex.
They don't need sex. I don't know. The thing is with me is like when I explain
just
things like that,
Venom
it's
in
just
the
like
IVF
I feel like
clinic.
I don't need to say it, but it's there. So it's
Venom at the
explain it
sperm bank.
when Ted was trying to get the baby, trying to have a baby. It's so lovely.
But actually,
Eddie, you have some.
From the point where they're basically sat in like the Bahamas or somewhere.
Yeah, like Venom, like
Venom's
destroys
feet.
That was a bit cringy, but it was funny at the same time. So Venom's feet are just like shoved in the sand, and he's like really enjoying himself. It's like I can never picture like the alien symbiote enjoying himself on a nice sunny day at the beach after watching the scene in Spider-Man 3 where they're like fighting at the construction site. It's just like I could never picture that, but you know, we got it. So he's like chilling out, and Venom's basically then ends up explaining to Eddie more about himself, because they're kind of like they've got a moment to kind of like chill, because yes, they're wanted because of their involvement in these events and like the idea of people seeing aliens and things, monsters and things, and like he's always being there because obviously he is one in a way, as in Eddie, because he's got the Venom symbiote. But so they're just like chatting, they're getting to know each other now because they've got some time, and Venom explains that he basically understands his version of explaining the multiverse, and like because of that he's got a broader understanding of it all, because obviously he's a cosmic entity, as like the beings from his planet before they came to Earth. And then I don't know if it's a cause of what he did to show Eddie, or if it was just a cause of something that actually happened, maybe something to do with something I'll get onto in a minute. But basically they change universes. They're in a room 1 minute and then they change universes, and then I've got that completely wrong. Not the change universe part, but how. So 1 minute there's a TV show on which is like paradoxing what they're discussing and how they are with each other. And then next minute, news report, daily MCU Daily Bugle, and you've got Spider-Man on the screen, Tom Holland. And Venom then goes up to the screen, says that guy, and licks it. And basically what I've understood from that point is that he knows of Tom Holland's Peter Parker, but he doesn't know of the MCU version. He knows of his own version in his own universe, because there is one. But Eddie doesn't know of this guy, but Venom does. And Venom must have met him or came across him somewhere on his path or something like that. Which I'm guessing may have happened sometime in between the events of the first two movies, where maybe one point when they were detached, or it just happens to be a case that he knows of him, or he's just saying that guy as in that's like their next target or something like that, because obviously the media in that scene is still making him out to be the bad guy because of killing Mysterio and whatnot. So they're like, well, we hunt bad guys, so yeah, there you go. We'll get you that guy for you. We'll eat him. The only thing I don't like about that is I feel like people are going to watch that and then they're going to think, well, okay, well, he's in it, so that means the rating is fine. So let's bring our children, because they're going to watch a film that's got a different rating that has him as that character in it later on, because the parents aren't going to look at the intricacies of that detail. So I feel like that's going to make, when people are now going to come watch it over the weekend, it's going to make things very complicated for me at work. But regarding dealing with customers who are going to want to watch it and they're not old enough to, and all that malarkey, but
But they should be
hopefully we'll get through that.
No.
Yeah. This character's appeared in Spider-Man. That means it's a 12A. No, you moron. It's a 15.
But that's the big bit of news for Venom anyway, is we see Spider-Man.
I think that's maybe one of the reasons why Andy Serkis decided to cut the film short, just find a way to get to that point without having it to be interfered in the story.
Well, I feel like
than the main
there
part of it.
wasn't anything
And also
going
just the
on.
fact that
There wasn't anything else.
it wasn't bad. It was simplistic, and it carried on from the first story. And I kind of had an inkling from the end credits of the first film that that's the route they were going to go with it. I did think it might be more. There might be more to it here and there, which I guess was right because of Frances Barnacle. What was her last name?
I don't know off by heart.
Begins with B or something.
Why am I trying to guess
the
it
whole
without
idea
off by
of
heart?
the whole idea of like you learn more about his Cletus Kasady's backstory as you expect to. Like obviously he breaks out of prison, he gets the Carnage symbiote, you find out about his girlfriend, and then there's not really any other new characters apart from the detective,
Francis
Patrick.
Barrison, yeah.
And then apart from the detective, there's no new characters really.
No.
That's
it worked though because there weren't any moments that dragged because it was kind of too short for it to drag, and
they did everything they wanted to do. Like
Yeah.
people are preferring it over the first one.
Yeah.
Like this is the Shrek 2 of the
I
Venom
liked the split of Venom and Eddie. I liked this like Venom as a symbiote taking on.
To me,
different
that's what I
strangers.
expect. That's what I expect from second installments is the two characters falling two. If you consider them two characters, they fall out. They go their separate ways for a bit. Then they come back for the
They
ending.
need each other in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, they need each other in the end. We are the lethal protector.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, the actress who plays Frances, or Shriek, if you like, if you're going by comic book names, gets killed by a bell that gongs like the bloody Big Ben, which transfers her back to the Bond, where she becomes Moneypenny. Where she becomes Moneypenny, because it's the same actress, if you didn't know, which Patrick's got recording of me not realizing earlier, which is funny. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching this review. If there's anything you want us to add that you feel like we haven't mentioned at all regarding this that you know of, because you saw it with your own two eyes when you went to go see it, or four if you've got a symbiote inside you as well, then go tell us in the comments. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, turn that notification bell on so you know when new stuff's coming out. Check our Instagram for future posts and things coming out. Check out our TikTok for exclusive clips and funny moments. Check out us on Spotify and Apple Podcast if you'd rather listen to us than look at our cringy faces. And we'll see you again. We'll see you again. You might want to say something so they can see that like disgusting smile you've got there. I'm joking. I'm sorry.
If you would rather listen to this instead of this, choice is yours.
You look like a shit ventriloquist.
What a good prediction.
Yeah.
But yeah,
everyone looks more attractive behind a screen.
easily.
Yeah, like I listen to half the podcasts I listen to, but in real life they have ugly mugs. But like, no offense to them, but yeah, they are pretty great though. I would go check them out, but I won't say who they are because they'll be offended. So yeah,
there we go.
So just assume that you know what I'm talking about. Read my mind. You know, I can't actually see what you're thinking, right? But yeah, enough of that jibber jabber.
Hope you enjoyed Venom. It's in cinemas now.
Go check it out.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Short, sweet, and perfect. Andy Serkis is a really good director as well as a
apparently, yeah,
as well as a
Let us know if he directed the first one because we don't, and we probably don't have time to search it up either. So yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. And we'll
all right, thank you guys. See you tomorrow. What for?
I'll explain it in at the end, like post credits of this episode. Yeah.
All right, Marvel.
See ya.
Marvel one of it. Toodles. Right, I'm gonna get a cherry Coke. I'll be back in a sec.
And so for the DC fans, as you're probably well aware by now, DC Fandom is today. Links below to watch the live event of all of the new DC films and shows coming out over the next year, basically. Stay tuned for The Batman coming this weekend. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.